Welcome to the Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC. They'll help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you listen often, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Now, here's your host, four-time #1 best-selling author, speaker, and business coach, Holly Porter.
Hello, and welcome everyone back to the show. I have a guest today. We have another male. You know, you've been with me for a while listening, then you know that we've had a lot of female because of the rules book authors. They were all a compilation book that we did with women. So we've had over 110 now in the book series. And so a lot of them were women, but we've been sprinkling men in. And so I'm proud to say we have another great male with us today, and his name is Sean Douglas. And he is an Air Force veteran. He's a TEDx speaker, a master resilience implementer, a suicide awareness trainer, a business positioning strategist, international radio show host of Life Transformational Radio, and an author. He also is a suicide survivor who hit rock bottom. So those of you that have been in that situation, listen up, because this is going to be a great show. He believes that you were created for a purpose, and once you unlock your true potential, you elevate your life, which is why he founded the Success Corps. Sean works with entrepreneurs, speakers, and business owners to increase their positioning and profitability while decreasing their anxiety and depression, so that they feel in life. So welcome to the show, Sean.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super pumped.
I'm so glad we got connected with our schedules so that we could get you on here. And I know you're in high demand. So, you know, what is it that wakes you up every day? Let's go there first. Like, you're a happy person. I love it. But you aren't always.
This right here. This is what I live for. You know, meeting people, inspiring people. You know, this is what gives me value. If I just sat there, played video games, and you know, just live life at a low level, I would just die. And it's probably why I went down that suicide road, because I just didn't feel like I was of value. I didn't value myself, and I didn't value others. So.
Yeah. And there's so many people that get into that rut and feel that way. So let's go there. We're going to go there. Let's journey back and, you know, share that story if that's what's on your heart today.
Yeah, I was battling alcohol abuse. Like I was abusing alcohol like crazy. You know, people, you know, they call it many things, right? He's a drunk, he's an alcoholic, he's, you know, whatever. So I'm serving in the Air Force, and I'm battling an alcohol problem, and I'm battling a relationship problem because my mom and dad were divorced when I was in like first grade. So I battled childhood abuse from an ex-stepfather who abused me and my mom and my two sisters. Well, me and my older sister anyways. So I battled that. By the time I was 18, I lived in 11 different houses and attended 8 different schools. So we grew up poor, in poverty.
Wow.
Hand-me-downs was what we wore. So here I am in the military, free reign, right? And I'm just living life at a low level. So battling alcohol, no purpose, no passion, was never given anything. I've had to work for everything my entire life, and it just became too much. I was trying to be everything to everybody, and I wasn't anything to myself. So in 2007, my house burned down. In 2008, right, so I was married, and my wife had a young son, and you know, we had a daughter, and it became too much. I just couldn't deal with it. You know, I didn't want to be that step parent that started screaming at the kids, but then I started to do that because that's how I was parented, and I didn't know how to parent, and and so I'm trying to battle, you know, the alcohol and everything, and it just became too much. And so my wife was like, "Yeah, you got too many issues. See ya," and left. And so I'm in a house all by myself, Christmas Eve, and I was like, "I'm just gonna end it. Like, I can't keep living this way. I know no other way. I know no other way." So in 2008, Christmas Eve, I put a gun in my mouth, and I was going to end my life. But thankfully people stopped me and they didn't let me, and and here I am.
Well, I'm
So
glad here you are.
yeah. Yep. Me too. 'Cause
And now you can
it's
help
been a
other
great 10
people.
years. Yeah, it's been a great 10 years.
Well, sometimes the lowest points of our life end up being the biggest lessons, that rises to the top in the end. And, so
Yeah.
many people have these suicide stories. I mean, I've got one of my own, and it's like, you don't know what you don't know. And when you
Right.
figure it out, what are you going to do with that knowledge? Are you going to go serve and help other people and, get them out of those ruts? I mean, really, ultimately, it's up to us to get us out, right?
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And my mentor, John
So
Vroman,
what do you do?
my, so my mentor, John Vroman, said, your darkest moment could in fact be your greatest moment. And that stuck with me.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that's the hit bottom thing. When you
Right.
just don't think you can go any lower, and then you really do. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Wow. So what is it? Do you have a story of maybe somebody that you've helped? I mean, I know you've helped hundreds of people, but like someone that really stands out maybe today that you can think of that you could share of the change you made, transformation with them?
Yeah, definitely. So I had a guy that I was mentoring, because as a master resilience implementer, we teach resilience skills, and he was ready to give up, and he's just, man, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't be anything other than what I know how to be, and what I know how to be is somebody terrible. My family's terrible. I got aunts and uncles that are out of, in and out of prison all the time. I got cousins that are in gangs. I just don't have a supportive environment. He's like, I'm ready to just give it up and just end it all. So we mentored for a couple weeks, and, he was doing really well, and then found something that he was absolutely passionate about, turned it into a business and monetized it. And now he's absolutely crushing it. And all we do is we go back and forth. We're like, look, count 3 blessings, breathe. Here's how you can decrease your stress. Here's how here's do this. And he's like, okay. And if you take action on something, you're moving forward. The people who learn something and then keep it inside and they don't take action on it never progress. And that's one of our basic human needs, is progression, is growth. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. So a lot of times people feel like they're lost because they're not growing. They're just staying stagnant, and your body knows it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of like muscle memory. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I recorded a podcast with one of my other guests the other day, and we talked a lot about gratitude and how that comes into play. And,
yes.
when you're feeling low, that's like the last place you want to be, feeling grateful because you're feeling so low. And, people would realize the first thing I noticed is if you'd stop and think, what can I do for someone else today? Whose life can I change? Who can I serve? Who can I, give to today? And then the next day, and then the next day after that, how much that would change. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%. They've actually done scientific research that says that gratitude is scientifically linked to lowering your anxiety, stress, and depression, just by you cultivating gratitude. So if you were to count 3 blessings a day for the rest of your life, you would counteract the effects of anxiety, stress, and depression. 100%. So what they tell you is, yeah. So you have to count 3 blessings a day, every single day, and you would counteract the negative effects of anxiety, stress, and depression just by counting 3 blessings every day. And if you want to take it a step further, what I teach people to do is to count 2 blessings and you be the 3rd blessing. So buy somebody a cup of coffee, buy them a tank of gas, hand somebody $20. Literally, take $20 at the ATM, and you come across somebody and go, hey, do you need some money? Like, well, what do you mean? Like, do you need some money? Well, everybody needs money. Here's $20. I just want to bless somebody today. And I saw you. I've had a lady cry. Oh my God, I just spent my last $4 and at Walmart, like my last $4. And I was like, well, here's $20, and so the universe works in a really weird way. You ever had somebody go, oh my God, I need this. I was just praying today, or I was just saying to myself, if this doesn't happen, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. And all of a sudden you come along and you get to be that blessing. Oh, that fires me up so much. Fires me up to know that me as a vessel having a human experience, a spiritual person having a human experience, I get to human do instead of just being a human being. I get to be a human doing, and I get to make that person feel that way. And when you frame your mind to say, I get to do this today. I get to be on the podcast with you, right? Instead of got to do this podcast, it's I get to do this podcast. You look at it as being fortunate, and your mind completely changes.
Yeah. And for some people that comes naturally. My husband, it comes naturally to be, he's a giver, and I'm a giver too, but it's like I have, different personality style than him. And so, I get a little bit of that judgment going on, and I have to like naturally step back and go, what's the bigger picture here? Where he's just automatic, giver, and do it and don't look back and, don't judge. And we had this conversation on a walk we had this morning, and it was about somebody else judging. And I said, I have to be accountable to that, because sometimes I feel like I'm that way. And he's like, yeah, you are, and it's just a natural, I think, human thing, probably more for women than men, but yeah. I agree with you. And some have to really work at it, really work at it. Cause I'm like you, I've had to earn everything I've ever had. And I've started over. I've been married, divorced, married, divorced, married, divorced. I really have to admit it. So, I have a great husband now. And so, that's my past. He's my future. And so we just have to don't be the victim of our circumstances. We can create anything we want.
Yep. 100%. Yep. Nailed it.
Yeah. So what you up to these days? Let's talk about that.
Oh man. So I love speaking. Absolutely love, that's my passion, and it started when I was a drill instructor. So going forward in the story, got therapy, got help, stopped drinking, got rid of all my loser friends. Because I was hanging out with people that were less than me. I wanted to feel like the most important person in the world. My whole life, even today, my whole life, I want to invent the car. I want to invent the light bulb. I want to invent Apple, right? I don't know what it is, but I am destined for greatness. I don't know what it is. There's something inside me. I feel it. And I've always felt this way. But even the 3 businesses that I built and being in the military, it just never felt significant enough. Yeah. And like I said, I might be 60. I mean, if you look at Morgan Freeman, got one of his best leading roles when he was 46, right? Didn't become a household name until he was in his 50s. Carl Sanders founded KFC when he was 56. Carl Sanders, 56 years old, founded KFC, right? We somehow think that in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, our life is over. I don't want to be that way. So I found speaking in 2009 when I became a drill instructor for Air Force basic training. That unlocked a passion that has fueled me for the last 10 years. Speaking, training, coaching, mentoring, advising, whatever you want to call it. When I say, hey, do it this way. And they go, oh my gosh, I needed that. Oh my God. I am so, and all of a sudden their life has changed. I walk by and go, yes. It's a win. I won something, right? That's what I feel like. you know? And they're like, oh gosh, I needed that. I'm like, yes. Because it makes me feel like I have value. If I ruined everything, I wouldn't feel like I have any value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I speak all over the place. I have my radio show that I do, Life Transformation Radio. I have different books that I've written, masterminds, coaching, mentoring. I've got a bunch of different stuff going on, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Right. The more I create, the more things I do, it's like the happier I get. The more that happens, the wife gets mad.
Well, let's talk about that scheduling, and we're talking about time balancing, because before we started recording the show, we were talking about schedules.
Yeah. So the number one rule of success is to schedule everything. Everything must be scheduled. Ever get lost in a rabbit hole on Facebook, watching videos, reading posts, right? Schedule it. For 1 hour, I will be on Facebook. Oh, right. Time's up. What are you doing for the next hour? Email? Email. 1 hour. Everybody's like, I have 15,000 emails I have to go through. I'm like, you better schedule it, because you're never gonna go through it. If you budget your money, you should budget your time, because time and money are two things that people willingly will not give up.
Right.
So anybody listening, please send Holly $50. She would love it. If you want to send her money, absolutely do that. Cold hard cash. She'd love that. But the truth is, hardly anybody will, because they value that money that they have. So time and money are two things that people willingly will not give up. If you're wasting money, I guarantee you are also wasting time. If you budget your money, you need to budget your time. Yeah. So 1 hour of Facebook, social media, whatever, 1 hour of reading, 1 hour of meditation, morning routine, whatever it is that you do, schedule everything. What am I doing at 10 a.m.? What am I doing at 2 p.m.? What am I doing at 9 p.m.? Schedule when you're going to bed. Schedule when you're waking up. Like, I know I need 7 hours of sleep. So if I go to bed at midnight, I can wake up at 7. I'd be great. Yeah. So if my first appointment, if I have to go, let's say I have to go somewhere. If I have to go somewhere at 8 o'clock in the morning, I have to go somewhere. Okay. How long does it take me to get ready? An hour? 7 a.m. I need 7 hours of sleep. I need to be in bed by midnight. Right. So as long as I'm in bed by midnight, I may not fall asleep, right? Maybe talking with the wife, or maybe on my phone doing something or whatever, which I can't stand being on phones in bed, but I really try hard not to. My wife watches movies and videos on her phone in bed. It drives me crazy. Oh. So I just can't stand it.
Tell her to get earbuds.
She does. She has the earbuds, and then she ignores me, right? Because I'm the guy going, hold me. She's like, I'm watching a movie. Okay, got it. And then she'll be like, right? And then she'll go, hold me. I'm like, I'm watching the movie. She's like, shut up. Hold me.
No,
super funny.
You're past your time.
Right. Oh. So you have to schedule everything. Yeah. Because if you don't know what you're doing in this moment, you're failing, and you're missing out on something, and you're not accomplishing much.
And okay, that being said, I think it's super important, because I help people with self-care. That's huge. So like, that's got to be in that schedule as well. Like you mentioned, meditation and, and reading, those are all things for self-care. What you need. Your sleep definitely goes in with your self-care. I mean, I don't function without sleep. Like people, I'm not a night owl. Like I get up really early in the morning, but at night I'm done. Like usually by 6 o'clock at night, I'm like, don't even talk to me anymore. I'm done working, because I've been up since 5, So I think it's figuring out what works for you and your body that's going to serve you the best, because you can't serve others at your best if you're not at your best, right?
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, I so agree with you. Well, okay. So anywhere you have some speaking things set up that you want to throw out some cities, maybe, so people listening? Maybe.
Yep. So heading to Tampa, February 20th to the 24th is Steve Olsher's event, New Media Summit. And I'm an icon of influence there, 3-time icon of influence. And we're going to be talking about podcasting, media, how to position yourself in the market using these avenues. And then, well, I'm actually heading to Georgia this weekend. I'm going to speak at the at Dobbins Air Reserve Base. So there's a Air Force Reserve Base out there in Marietta, Georgia. I'm going to go be their resilient speaker. And then March 7th through the 9th, speaking at PodFest, which is awesome. Speaking at PodFest in Orlando. So if you ever want to be a guest on a podcast or know about podcasts, whatever, go to New Media Summit and go to PodFest, right? And then later on in March, heading to California to speak at a big fitness expo about resilience. And then May, I've got a bunch of events in Chicago, and I can't remember the other city, Atlanta. So I got Chicago and Atlanta, and then in June I got another one in Atlanta, and then September and October all in California and in Florida.
Nice. Wow. Well, see, so you are scheduled and you still do the military full time. So bravo. Like that's
oh yeah, schedule everything. Everything is scheduled.
That's a good example for people though, that it can be done. So if
Yes.
you're still in your corporate or your JOB or whatever, and we talked about, let's take like just a couple minutes here at the end, because we talked about multiple streams of income, and I'm profilers. That's what I do with people is see what they're doing, because everybody needs multiple streams of income nowadays. I want people to be recession proof, so
yes.
when something happens, you're not caught. I mean, we were in construction with our company and real estate when the last recession hit. So you know what happened to us, that won't be happening again. I can be in real estate, but I'm going to be on the other side buying, not losing,
Yep, 100%.
And
so build a resilient business.
Yeah.
Build a resilient business. How do you bounce back? How do you grow? Right? So, so currently I have 6 streams of income, and it's almost matching my military pay, which is great. So the first one is just a regular paperback book. I use it to sell copies at events that I go to. I use it to supplement my speaker fee. If they say, well, we don't have that much money. We only got about, 3,000 or 4,000 for a speaker fee. I said, well, if you buy like 100 copies of my book, or buy a copy for everybody in attendance, right? So the book is used a lot of different ways. So after the book, I have an ebook that is $47, and it literally tells people how to get booked to speak. This book is dangerous. So it is crazy. Like same day booking testimonials is what I have. It's crazy. So there's that ebook that I created. And when you can create these ebooks that solve a specific problem. So you would create an ebook, how to recession proof your real estate business. That would be an ebook.
Right.
And you would sell it to people at different events, online, like, oh, you're in real estate. Are you recession proof? Well, I taught people how to build a recession proof. You'd put it into a funnel. Like that ebook is so versatile. You could put it into a funnel, right? Give it away for free, get it into the funnel, and then get into your coaching. You can give it away at events as a free lead. If it's like 5 pages long, mine's 15, it's $47 because it's my exact business model of how I get booked to speak. Yeah. So I use it differently. Then you have my radio show, which I get sponsorships from. People actually buy commercials from me. If they want to promote their podcast, I say, okay, it costs this much money. Hardee's, I'm a life transformation radio show. Hardee's bought a commercial for me. I was like,
awesome.
Really? Sure. Yeah. I was like, okay. My uncle was on the show. He builds hot rods. Napa Auto Parts bought a commercial to the show. That makes sense. But I was like, okay then. So I have a bunch of different people that are advertising things. So there's sponsorships to that. Then I have one-on-one mentoring. I do one-on-one mentoring for entrepreneurs, speakers, and business owners. Then I have a group mastermind, the Success Core Mastermind, which is a group mentoring session. Then I have the speaking that I do. So $5,500 is my speaker fee. And I say, hey, I want to get booked to speak at this event, $5,500, all inclusive, up to a full day. And they're like, okay. And then they pay the speaker fee.
Right.
So with all of that happening, right? It's great. It's fabulous because I can pull from one of these incomes. I can scale it. I can decrease it. If I'm like, I'm not going to have any advertising for this month, I can decrease that, but I'm still getting booked to speak. Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's events that I'll speak at, and, there come different models, like you pay to play, or it's a free event, but you can sell your stuff. Like I'll go to an event, sell a bunch of those ebooks, or sell people into my mentoring and my coaching and get money that way. So if you get creative, you can earn money in a lot of different ways, but it's having the multiple streams over 5.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
I teach 8 because I'm all about prosperity, and 8's prosperity. And if you turn it, it's the infinity sign. And I have a whole program I do on that. So with 8 steps. So yeah, mine's all about
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. My mentor, John Vroman, that's his thing too. He has the infinity, right? Mm-hmm. And that's his thing too. He loves the 8s, and so yeah, you guys will get along great.
Oh yeah, we'll have to meet. Well, Sean, it was such a joy having you on the show. We're going to post your, all your social media information, your email, and your website on the show notes below, so you can all get a hold of him and reach out to him. And he's a great guest, and he's got a lot of great ideas. As I hope you wrote them down, or you'll start this podcast over and re-listen to it and write them down, because there were some great nuggets he shared, and I love it. I love the 3s are a big thing for me anyway. So the 3 attitude.
Power of 3.
Power of 3. Yeah. Hasn't always worked out for me. For the power of 3, I've got some stories about 3s too, but that's all good. There's a reason.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right. Well, if you're listening, I hope that you can look at also our information on the prosperityevent.com. That's coming up March 28th and 29th. So it will be in Las Vegas at the Canyon Country oh my gosh, that's a tongue twister. Canyon Country Club. I guess that's all it is. Canyon Country Club in Las Vegas. And we hope to see you there. So go to prosperityevent.com. Still working on Sean to see if he'll come and be a speaker. So send us a little good vibe for that. And we hope he'll be there as well. So thank you for joining us, Sean.
Thank you so much for having me. Subscribe to her show. Subscribe.
Yes, thanks, Sean. I know. You're awesome to ask that. Okay, if you enjoyed this.
Thank you for listening to Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC, helping you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you enjoyed our time together, and we'll visit again soon. You can learn more about Prosperity Profilers by going to hollyporter.com.